Breonna Taylor's family and attorneys made it clear today a settlement couldn't have been reached unless they also had those changes on policy and police reform as part of the deal. We continue our team coverage with the night team's Tyler Emery. She's live tonight, been finding out more about those reforms, what's going to be easy to get into action and what's not. Tyler?
Doug, one of the family's attorneys, Lanita Baker, says we are not done yet, planning to keep pushing city and state leaders for additional reforms. But the family's attorneys say today the reforms announced as part of the settlement are a good first step.
Nearly a dozen reforms will begin to reshape policing in Louisville.
It's just a start, but we finished the first mile in a marathon.
The city committed to Taylor's family attorneys to make changes, starting with mandatory body cameras, recording while cash is seized and put into evidence during a search. Search warrants must get approval by an LMPD commanding officer before seeking a judge's signature of approval. Also, an overhaul of the process in obtaining simultaneous warrants.
Is solidify that it will be an actual commanding officer of the rank of sergeant or above.
With a focus on community relationship building, the city is committing to hiring social workers to assist with dispatched runs. Officers will be encouraged to volunteer with organizations in the communities they work. Also, a housing credit program, giving incentives to police to live in low-income parts of the city.
To engage police officers within the community, not just when they're dispatched to runs, but to get out, to volunteer in those communities in which they serve, to get to know their communities in other settings, to live within their communities.
But met with mixed reaction from the ACLU of Kentucky.
I think that any time that we're doing something with policing and incentivizing them on things such as housing, it does make me a little hesitant. It definitely speaks against the defund or divesting from policing and investing into communities.
With an increase in officer drug and alcohol testing and an early action warning system to spot red flags in officers, many of the changes need approval.
Some of those can be done with the stroke of a pen by the mayor and the police chief. Some of them are going to require approval from the state legislature in order to get those done.
The city says those who were at the table during settlement negotiations were mainly just the attorneys for the two parties, but the city also says that the FOP and police leaders were consulted when necessary to get information about police protocols. Live at LMPD for the night team, I'm Tyler Emery.